Yo, got third place at a locals with Danger Dark World, going 3-1. Made a couple changes from the last list and figured, I might as well update you. Starting off with 2 Rainbow, 3 Grapha, and 2 Silva. Nothing changed here. 3 Genta, 3 Snow, 2 Brow, and 1 Beige. I cut down on Brow and I cut Ceruli and Parl altogether because I wanted to have more actual starters in the deck than just Dark Worlds I can't take advantage of due to not having a discard outlet. In retrospect, cutting Ceruli might not be the best idea because this list really just spins its wheels for 20 minutes comboing off, and the payoff a lot of the time isn't as good as I would like. 1 Salamander Catalyzer. For the dangers, 1 Bigfoot, 1 Thunderbird, 2 copies of Nessie, a Chupacabra, Mothman, and Jackalope. I've decided to add Bestials. I'm playing 2 Magnamute, 2 Druisworm, and 1 Saronier. Decided to cut Skullmeister and add these. I think they're just too good to not play. I'm playing 1 Saronier as opposed to a 3rd Magnamute because you can potentially use 3 in 1 turn. 3 Gates, 2 copies of Accession, 1 Puppetry. I played a couple of other builds that replace this with something like Dark World Brainwashing or Dark World Punishment. I found Brainwashing to only be good if you're already in a winning position, and Punishment is okay, but I felt Puppetry was just as good and not a trap card. I did end up using this against a tier player after I used Havness, and it stopped him from fusion summoning, and it gave me additional extension because of the discard. Still on 1 Archives. 1 Foolish Burial Goods. This is to send Accession. I wanted another starter that wasn't a danger, and Accession in your grave is pretty much the best starter you can have, and it doesn't really require any other setup. You just send a Dark World in your hand. Problem with this is going second against any deck playing the Ishizu cards. Then this suddenly becomes your worst starter. Another option to play instead of this is just a second copy of Salamander, which I would probably do in the future. Then lastly, 2 Desires and 1 Upstart. Counting Desires, this list has a 90% chance to open a starter or a discard outlet, and that was my goal, because I messed around with a lot of different builds that just opened unplayable over and over again. For the extra deck, 1 IP, Muckraker, Dark, Phoenix, Unicorn, Griffin, Appaloosa, Saryuja, Dugaries, Dweller. In however many games I've played of this deck, I've only been able to actually summon this card once. 9 times out of 10, I need to make Dugaries to have any kind of end board, and as insane as it sounds, this could be one of the few cuttable cards from my extra deck. Baguska, Coach King. I tried swapping this out for like Hope Harbinger, and it was kind of the same deal. There were some builds where I didn't play a rank 8 at all, and I don't think that that's a bad idea. In the future, I'd probably replace this with something like Akashic Magician, and I'd find a way to add Ceruli to the main deck, and I would lean in more into the hand loop build. Summoning Coach King is fun and all, but I found I could either summon something else more impactful, or I was already in a winning position in the first place before I even used the draw 3 effect. Zeus. I added this as counterplay to getting shiftered. They shifter me, I waddle my way into Baguska. Any deck playing shifter likely has some back row, so I just go attack and try and force whatever they have with Zeus before committing. Then 2 of the Grapha Fusion. For the side deck, I was kinda struggling here. The main things I thought of when putting this side deck together were 1, this deck takes forever to combo, 2, this deck needs a lot of help going second, and 3, this deck gets kinda cooked by Dark Ruler and Droll. So starting off, Cowboy. This did win me a game, and I was very back and forth on if I wanted to play it at all, but now I'm convinced that you have no choice. 2 Lava Golem. This is the card I chose to cut down on to make room for Cowboy, which feels bad, but what are you gonna do? A little added note, this is a fiend that you can pitch off gates should that ever come up. Probably won't, but just in case. 3 Talents. This was great. Going first or second against tier, it's pretty much always going to be live. Going second against pretty much every other deck, it's just going to take their monster, it's going to be Pot of Greed, so yeah, this card is great. Then 3 Imperm. This is something I'd probably change, even though I don't really want to change it. The reason I was playing it was to have counterplay to decks setting up more than a Lava Golem can handle. Decks like Draco Slayers that aren't really affected too much by the Bystials and can set up Hope Harbinger, Appaloosa, Dweller, Necro Valley if they're left uncontested. Imperm was also here to just have access to some form of effect negation for cards like Naturia Beast, Dynamorphia Rexterm, even something like Winda or whatever other floodgate might come out of the woodwork. I don't think the reasoning for playing it is bad, I just think I would have to play like Spooky Dogwood in the future just because the deck really is so slow, and I'm not sure what else I can cut from here. For back row, 1 Duster and 2 Twin Twister. Then I play 3 Skill Drain. Rather than playing things like Drag Down and Viruses, I'm just on this as a way to win through draw. They draw me, I set Skill Drain, and pray. And that's the deck. My locals experience this time around was unexpected. For the last 2 weeks, there hasn't really been many Tearlament players there. Of course, that's when I was playing Naturia, a deck which was built to beat them. Now I bring a deck with Mothman in it, and I play against 3 Tearlament players. And it can be tough to beat them with this deck. You go first, you get dumpstered by Kelbeck, and going second, you get dumpstered by Dweller, and even more so by the Shufflers. I was only able to win against 2 tier players because of time in one round, and then opening the most insane hand I've ever had in another. To let you know how insane that hand was, I had 3 cards left in deck at the end of turn 1. The tier player I lost to won the whole thing. What happened was I won the die roll, I had the keys to the kingdom, but I think he had like Kelbeck, Havnus, and Abystial, which is an FTK. The game still went on for 35 minutes. It's like, which sucks, because game 2 I activated Bigfoot and he chained Spooky Dogwood with a few seconds left on the clock. I realized later I think I had access to Grapha and the fusion spell, so I think I could have used the fusion spell to banish the Bigfoot out of my hand, and then I would have burned him for half in end phase, because the Bigfoot never would have summoned. So I think I had a way to get a draw with him, but oh well, not a big deal. Here was my prizing for getting 3rd place. I opened 4 packs of various sets. The best pull was an access code talker. Also got a chaos creator, that's pretty nice. And this is a first. They give you a deck box that you like put together, and then they give you some stickers and a field center. That's pretty cool. You know we gotta put the Stardust on some shit. Boom. Anyway, thanks for watching.